Earl, sack that fool. Hit him, 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 hit him. Smash him up, watch that move. Went too swift, can't catch these dudes. Can't hit him, 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 hit him. Listen, 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 hit him, listen. This Eagles talk, this talk Eagles. Philly bleed green, it's from your people. Fly, Eagles, fly. Let's beat the squad. Big Pat Shelley, Dante the Dark Child. Drop the stats on him, drop the facts on him. Spur King, baby, let's get it on.
Hey, fam, it's your man, Dante the Dark Knight. Welcome. Our Philadelphia Eagles are in the Super Bowl. If you haven't heard, if you've been living under a rock or something like that. But I know you guys haven't. I know you guys know that we're going to the Super Bowl. And, I really feel good about this team going into the Super Bowl. I teased this on post-game on Sunday, but I'm hearing more and more people talk about it. People, I don't know if they listen to us or not, but I said that if we can dominate or duplicate what we've been doing in the playoffs thus far in the Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs, you would have to consider us one of the greatest of an era or something. I mean, we would have to get consideration for that because this team is outstanding. I know I'm not going to jump the gun, but I'm just saying, hypothetically, if we duplicate the dominance that we have displayed over the first two playoff games in the Super Bowl against the Kansas City Chiefs, you have to look at this team in a very, very special way. What's up, Pat? How you feeling?
I'm feeling great, man. Look, I got my Eagles Talk shirt on. I feel great, man. Listen, we in a bowl, baby. We in a chip, man. It feels good. It really hasn't sunk in like it did 5 years ago, but it still feels amazing.
Yes, that it does. That it does, man. I didn't. This team just never ceases to amaze me, man. I thought that we would show some dominance, but the variety of ways in which this team shows up and shows that dominance is just it's not baffling. It's just stunning to me how many ways they can show up and show dominance. And last week it was by the defense with their physicality and their violent nature, putting not one quarterback out of the game, but two quarterbacks out of the game. That was reminiscent of the body bag game to me. I mean, and this was in the NFC Championship game, no less. Oh my goodness.
It felt amazing. Like you just said, it was the NFC Championship game, and it felt like an easy cakewalk. It literally did. Especially when they're champion. They called him a third string quarterback. He won 7 games straight, though. You didn't call him that the winning streak. When he went out the game, he put Josh Jackson in there. He just had a feel that this team was on a mission. This team was on a mission. There's nothing was going to stop them. And you know what? It looked like that on Sunday.
Man, look, Josh Johnson looked like he was not expecting to have to play football on Sunday. He like was so unprepared. He was. I could just imagine on the sideline. He was thinking, "Man, I thought I was going to see a good game. I didn't think I was going to be in the game." Oh my goodness! And he came right in the heat of the battle. You know, our defensive line was already rabid. They have already put out Purdy, and they were putting pressure on Purdy, and it was pretty hot in the kitchen the short while he was in the game. And here's Josh Johnson just thrown into the heat of the battle, and and you can see that he was overwhelmed in some senses, and so then Ndamukong Suh just put him out of his misery. All right, well, you don't have to suffer anymore, young fella. Just go over there and take a nap.
It did feel like, the vibe with this team is like we felt confident going into the game, and during the progression of the game, that fourth down pass to Devontae Cord, and them hurrying up and being cohesive to get a playoff. The running game, like I want to talk about the running game this today's show, because the running game is something to admire.
Yes, it is.
Man, it just had a different vibe to it. Like, yeah, this is cakewalk. Let's hurry up and get this game over and get to the Super Bowl.
No doubt, man. We have not even started this show off like we normally do. So That was a pretty long opening. Look, you are watching Eagles Talk, the most unique Eagles coverage show around us by Eagles fans for Eagles fans. And here on Eagles Talk, we like to talk about our favorite football team, the NFC champion Philadelphia Eagles. What's that now? What, we 16-3 now?
Something like that.
16-3.
16-3.
Super Bowl bound Philadelphia Eagles. And we like to do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. You know, I'm still on my 90-day, and you don't have to do that, Pat, because you were drinking when we were winning during the season. I mean, no, you were drinking already when we were winning during the season. So you're drinking, not drinking.
Wait a minute. The last time I got intoxicated, now I'm not talking about on the show. I'm talking about in the privacy of the house and out with friends or, you know, catching Uber. We lost. So when I stopped drinking, we started winning. So I got another 2 weeks to go like this.
All right. Well, you can, you know, do what you got to do. But all right, here you go. So to our Philadelphia Eagles, down the hatch. Let me know what you're drinking out there. 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the First Quarter.
All right. The first person in the room tonight was Clifford Johnson. Says, let's go. And Rachel is second. She says, go Birds. Bill Kroll is third in the place to be. Says, what's up, Eagles family? What's up, Bill? Shane Towns is in the house also. He says, Bird Gang for life. Richard Boo, what's going on, my boy? What's up, my Eagles Super Bowl family? That's right. And Gwen's in the house. Hey, Gwen. Hey. BJ says, did it sink to where bound? Oh, Super Bowl bound. Did it sink in that we are Super Bowl bound? Yes, it has sunk in. I'm as a fan, man, I'm locked in. Like I got that focus of like Jalen Hurts, yo. I'm just like, I just can't get out of my mind that we are going to win this game. And like, I'm just focused on this team, visualizing this team winning it and doing it in a dominant fashion, man. I'm locked and loaded. I can barely wait till next Sunday.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I feel like with our defensive line, how they're playing right now in this playoff run, you know, our defensive backs is not even getting tested. Let's be honest. Our defensive backs haven't got tested this whole playoff run yet, have they?
No, not really.
And you know, in the offensive line, oh my goodness. Listen, Jordan Mailata, shout out to Lane Johnson playing with he tore his groin. Now he had tore the muscle, so he said you feel better now. Listen, Landon Dickerson, Isaac Salamayu, Jason Kelsey, that offensive front is something to be reckoned with. They literally changed the whole line of scrimmage and put it 5 yards ahead of where it should have been. 5 yards. That first couple plays, the very first play of the game, they set a new line of scrimmage from where they started at 4 yards away. Miles Sanders didn't get touched for the first 3 yards. Like this is outrageous that, you know, you go against the number one defense, one of the top defense when it comes to rushing, and you make these guys submit like that. How many yards was it? 148 rushing yards?
148 rushing yards, man. And 4 touchdowns on the ground. And a couple of those were untouched. I mean, you know, Miles Sanders ran in 2 times untouched. Mm-hmm. And was it Boston Scott touchdown? Yeah, he was basically untouched also, man. So that's amazing that our offensive line just imposed their will on this vaulted 49ers defensive line, the number 1 rushing defense in the league. And this line, you know, they wore them down. They just wore them down over the course of the game. And by the fourth quarter, it was a wrap, you know.
They was ready to go home. They
were ready to go home.
Fred Warner's wife was ready to leave Philly.
Oh, I saw that report. I think she tweeted or something about she don't want to come back to Philly. Philly is rude. We have rude fans.
Care. Oh well,
like, we don't care. Nobody likes us, so we don't care. We got it
anyway. But
Tyrone says, "I got a feeling we're going to show up and show out. Super Bowl, fly Eagles, fly." Yes, I do have that. I have that same feeling, man. I do. And look, how about, would this be a good time to revisit a conversation I started earlier in the year, and we said we had to wait till after the Super Bowl. I mean, it's a week before the Super Bowl, but can we talk about it now? How do you guys feel now? Because I was 2022. What team is the better team? 2022, 2017. Mind you, I opened up by saying if we continue this dominance into the Super Bowl, this team should be considered as one of the all-time best. That should tell you how high of esteem that I hold this team and others who are holding the same conversation.
I think we need to wait a little bit. I think we need to wait into after the Super Bowl. I know it's a good talking point. It's something to bring up. What team is more dynamic? But you know what? The 2017, 2018 team accomplished the goal we're trying to accomplish right now. And
it don't matter. I mean, the best team don't always win. I mean, you can still compare. It's not gonna matter whether this team wins the next game or not.
We're not
going to compare this team to that team. This team is a much more complete team and all that. It don't matter whether they won or not. I'm just talking about the team itself, the players on this team, roster on this team versus the roster.
We're more talented. Let's put it that way. We're more talented than that 2017. We have more talent at each position. I'm not going to even count the offensive line because that's pretty much the same offensive line except for our left tackle. I would say if we had a healthy Jason Peters, you know, that offensive line was definitely way better. We forget Brandon Brooks is all-pro. All-pro guard. Jason Kelce was all-pro center. Lane Johnson was an all-pro right tackle. Jason Peters was an all-pro left tackle. So that offensive line, I'm not going to compare our offensive line. You know, you go to that defensive line. That defensive line was something to be fair with because they even though they didn't get 70 sacks.
Yeah, you could just stop that conversation right there.
They didn't get 70 sacks.
That's my counter right there. 70.
Brandon Graham came away with the winning strip sack.
70 sacks, yo. This defensive line has set records. They don't have to say anymore. They've set records, yo.
I mean, yeah, our defensive line this year's defensive line is definitely better than 17's defensive line. 17's linebackers, I would say, is better than these linebackers in 22. Defensive backs has to go to 22. I think our defensive backs, even though they had Malcolm Jenkins, Rodney McLeod.
Man, you can look at the roster all you want. This team has dominated.
It has dominated.
Dominated. Unlike and even the 17 season, I mean, they had an awesome run during the regular season. Don't get me wrong, but the domination.
Oh, they was dominant.
Nowhere near the level.
You don't remember how dominant? I don't think we kind of forget because we're so far removed from that 2017 by seeing the domination of this 22 team. We fail to realize how dominant actually our 2017 team was. You remember that Denver game, right? That really started the kind of thing of our show. They want to get against the number one defense and put up what was it? 50 points they put up?
Yeah, 55.
They made it look easy. They made it look
that's true.
easy. So it was a stretch of games where, you know, they weren't being touched. They were a dominant team. Yeah, they lost just like we lost this year. But, you know, we didn't lose our quarterback for a long period of time. We were able to keep our quarterback for this run. And by the time Nick Foles got on the roll, I mean, it was a whole different story. But, yes, this 2020 team is way more talented than our 2017 team. But they need to accomplish the overall goal and get the
and this 22 team dominance has carried into the playoffs in a big way. I mean, like
they're more dominant in the playoffs.
2017 had that big, huge, gigantic blowout win against the Minnesota Vikings in the championship game. But this team in 2 games, 69 points and only giving up 2 touchdowns in 2 games. That's a little bit more dominating than the 2017. Let me hear what they're saying out there. Richard Booth said he's still going with 2022. Tanya Davis said 2022. Lethon says the 22 team has a lot more talent. David Juggernaut, Lethon, our D-line has a bunch of dogs on it. Yeah. Raheem, what's up, Raheem? You on YouTube? Thank you, man. Thank you for giving us that YouTube love. We need that. Mr. Jones is on Facebook. What's going on? He said 22, 23 through and through. Y'all see that game in real? No, I didn't see the game
Yeah.
in real.
Oh man.
What
I think
happened?
can I put it up here?
You hate to like me says
Uh,
22. I like the 22 team, man. And again, man, and I know it's we have to wait, and that's why they play the games and stuff like that. But I really feel good about this game, and if we can duplicate the dominance in the Super Bowl that we have displayed the first 2 games of the playoffs, man, this team has to be looked at in a special way, man. At least of the salary cap era or something. We have to be a top team.
yeah, we do.
Or some type of top team, because this is incredible, the run they've had. So all we need to do is just finish the task. The task has to be finished.
Yeah, we definitely got to finish the task. We got to do the daggone job. And I think we already are. I mean, the one thing that hinders the Kansas City Chiefs is the pass rush. And you can see that Pat Mahomes is a little hampered with a high ankle sprain. It would take an act of God for him not to play. So he's definitely going to be out there. But with that being said, if we're able to get home like we have been with these last 2 games, that's why we're the favorites. I hate to say it like that, but that's why we're the favorites. I'm never putting anything past Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid, but they don't have the bullets to come at us with these other teams have. They don't have the dogs up front to bite with us. They don't have the straight up weapons. Travis Kelce is an ultimate weapon. I'm going to get that twisted. He's an ultimate weapon. Patrick Mahomes by himself, is the reason why they call him Baby Goat. He's that good. But like you said, Dark Knight, this defensive line, 70 plus sacks.
This defensive line is something else. And don't get me wrong, I know Mahomes and them, they do some incredible things. Andy is going to pull out all stops. They also like to throw, and they are successful with throwing to the running backs out of the backfield, screens and the such. But Andy Reid was great with screen play design when he was with the Eagles. So that's something that we struggle with a little bit when you look at it statistically. We shore that up, but every other aspect of our defense, I think, is going to be pretty solid and maybe even disruptive, may I say, because their pass rush is it does some things. It creates havoc, man. It makes the quarterback have to play off schedule. Now, Mahomes is one of the best to do it, but that's what you want them. You want them playing off schedule. You don't want them comfortable back there. And we have that defensive pressure that provides that. And then on top of that, on the back end, when you got frazzled running backs running around, scrambling, trying to throw it up, that's when we strike with interceptions. So it's going to be a key turnover battle. But I think our defense is playing at such a high level, man. And it's funny because I actually am trusting that Jonathan Gannon is going to do the right thing and have this defense prepared and in the right position to neutralize Patrick Mahomes. I mean, he's just going to add to he's going to make you love him by just taking care of business. Because if you look at the defense's stats in the playoffs, they are doing an outstanding job of continuing their dominance, man. The tops in the league pass defense, and they've continued that through the playoffs. And I hope that it carries over to the Super Bowl, man, because that's what they do best, and that's what our defense does best. Stop the pass, and they like to pass the ball.
Yeah, they like to pass the ball. They do got an outstanding, fast, quick running back in Isaiah Pacheco. I think I said his name right. I can't believe I did say his name right, Pacheco. Valdez-Scantling is battling a little injury. Nicole Hartman, their speedster, is battling a groin/pelvic injury. He's trying to fight to play in this game, but it's a very slim chance that he plays in this game. And JJ Schuster, their offseason pickup, he's injured. So, if these guys don't play or they still come to this game injured, let's be honest, they're going to be injured with these type of injuries, ankle, groin, knee. It's going to be difficult for them to be at 100%. If they're not 100% against our defense, who's coming at you at 100%, it's going to be Opening the game, close the game. Grand opening, grand closing.
No doubt, no doubt. So let's end this quarter.
And that's the end of the quarter.
All right, so you are watching Eagles Talk, the most unique Eagles cover show around. Our Philadelphia Eagles are in the Super Bowl. Yes, we are going to be in the Super Bowl on February the 12th. How many days is it?
I don't know. It's like 12 days away. I think.
Man,
no. 7 days? No, not 7. It's 12 days. 12 days away.
This is like eagerly awaiting Christmas to come up as a little kid. Like, I'm waiting. I can't wait. So we like to talk about our favorite football team, the Philadelphia Eagles. We do so in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverages in the form of shots. So let me know what you're drinking out there, and let's drink to our Philadelphia Eagles. So here we are, down the hatch. 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the second quarter.
Hey, Dark Knight, I got that Jonathan Gannon clip for you.
All right, go ahead. Let's see it.
All right, this is Jonathan Gannon right before the NFC Championship game, right before the game when he pulled up to the link.
Let's fucking go! Let's fucking go!
Word.
Yeah, he said we're gonna
gut these guys.
Yo.
Okay, JG, I told you JG was going to do some stuff. I told y'all. Y'all didn't believe me. I told y'all.
I mean, listen, it's as a Philly fan, and I sit here and I would lick my wounds on this Jonathan Gannon, JG, and say, I was kind of wrong on his criticism, but at certain times during the year, it was rightful so. When you have a quarterback that shouldn't be going 24 for 24 in the middle of the field, then you should get criticized. But lately he has been, the man at coordinator for us. He has put together these past 2 playoffs games has been something of a perfection. I'm not going to say it's perfection because you gave up 14 points, but you made it easy. Defense, the calls that he had this week and last week were outstanding.
Yeah, and he's not going anywhere. Didn't we just learn that?
Yeah.
We learned that he's not going to be leaving us. He's going to be back next year. Shane Steichen still has a couple coals in the fire, but it's a good chance that he will be back next year also. So that's a great thing to hear that, man. We can, I don't want to look past this game. I want to take care of this game. I don't ever want to look past this game. I can't wait till the game comes up so that we can prove to the world that we are the best in the world. And once that happens, it feels good that we'll have everybody in place as far as coaching staff in place to make the run it back. You know what I'm saying? To run it back. So I feel good about that. And they are going to have, I don't know, I'm hoping that they have at least the same amount of talent as this year, maybe a little bit better. I hope that the draft goes well and that we take advantage of the draft capital that we have and get some top-notch players in here, because I don't know how many of these defensive players that are on one-year contracts are going to return. I know I have my priority on who I want to see come back. I want to see CJ come back. I want to see Bradbury come back. There's going to be some tough choices. I want to see Hargrave come back. There's going to be some tough decisions to make out there. Some people are saying let TJ go. If we can't keep everybody, Nakobe Dean, next man up for TJ, because TJ's contract is up also. So I don't know what this defense is going to look like, but I do have confidence in my executive of the year.
Yeah,
the one that put this roster together. I have confidence in him. I mean, he's done it. He's not put one Super Bowl team together. He's put 2 Super Bowl teams together. And what's so amazing about that is this second one is darn near a brand new squad. It's not the same as the 2017.
Nope.
So he's had to rip down that team, take that team apart, and rebuild it. And he's done it in 5 years and gotten this team back to the Super Bowl. So hats off to Howie Roseman. He's doing a hell of a job.
Yeah, Howie Roseman has 8 players from that 2017 squad still here today. 8 players. Jason Kelsey, Lane Johnson, Jake Elliott, Derek Barnett, who's injured. John Dornballs. No, not John Dornballs. Well, whoever this long snapper is right now, I forget his name right now. That's 5. Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox. That's 8, right? Or is that 7?
I don't know. I just know
that Jason Kelsey. I forget Jason Kelsey.
Yeah, Kelsey. Yeah.
So you
just know.
I'm sorry. Isaac Salamayu. Isaac played 8 snaps in that Super Bowl. 8 snaps. So you have 8 players from that 2017 team that's still on this team, which shows you how important it is to have a general manager who has the pulse of the team and pulse of the city. Because he basically said, you know what? Since we got a new coach, I got to retool. And shout out to Nick Sirianni. I don't care what anybody say from whatever team. He's doing a hell of a job, man. He has done a hell of a job of turning his team into a contender in 1 year. From what we saw against Tampa Bay in the playoffs to now, man, straight dominance.
Straight dominance, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I got something for you, too. You talking about how can we keep these players coming back? CJ, you want Bradbury? Well, guess what? I got a news flash for you. The salary cap got increased for 2023.
Yeah, I saw that. I did see that.
So that means for Howie.
Hopefully that's enough money for Howie to work his magic because he's gonna be doling out some checks. But if anybody could do it, Howie can do that. He works. Definitely. He's working that. He works the salary cap better than the draft actually. But he's had some good drafts the past few years. So he's coming up and he's moved up. He's improved in that department. And he's been taking players from top universities. How about that? He's been taking players from the SEC. How about that, Howie? That's all it takes. Take the best players from the best schools. How about that? We got Alabama. We got Devontae White, Georgia. That's good decision making there, Howie. So I was doing a good job, man. And he's going to have to replenish any talent that happens to walk out the door over the offseason with some younger labor, draft picks. We got to hit on the draft picks. That's our cheap labor.
Yeah. I mean, that's easy. That they just talked about it today on the radio show. You talk about Pat Mahomes, he's commanding about $500 million, right? But Jalen Hurts, who's very efficient, more efficient than most of these quarterbacks nowadays, because it's only 2 quarterbacks left. He's only getting $1 million. Strike
I know.
While the iron's hot.
And I don't think he comes out of this offseason without a new deal. Matt Mogul, our draft guy, he seems to think that they're not going to pay him this offseason or wait till next offseason. I'm like, I don't know how good of a relationship they have, but you got to have a hell of a relationship to tell this young man who, possibly is leading this team to a Super Bowl win that you're going to wait another year before you pay him.
Yeah.
And he's got to play on a $1 million contract again. I don't think that'd be good.
I don't think that would be good for the franchise. You want to get this out of the way as quickly as possible, especially if all of our dreams are realized in 10 days. It's 10 days, and we win the Super Bowl. So you want to get this done as quickly as possible and get to the job of securing the rest of this roster.
Yeah, you got to give him his money, man. I don't see him playing another year for $1 million. Give him, he's earned it. Give it to him, and because I just don't think it's bad blood. You create bad blood. You know what I'm saying? And you see the debacle that's going on in Baltimore. He should have got his money too. But you know what I'm saying? You don't want to get to that point. Things are going good. Let's get him locked up, get him secured, and then start maneuvering around his massive contract because he's going to get paid. You know what I'm saying? So we have to start planning life after we pay our quarterback. That's why the window is now. There's no 5-year plan or whatever. We need to win now. And every year it needs to be a now thing. I think he has retooled enough with young talent mixed in with veterans that we can run this for 3 years, but nothing's promised. We saw our 2017 team and we heard the rhetoric such as Doug Peterson stating that this is the new norm, and we didn't get back to that norm until 5 years later. You see, things happen quickly. It's nothing's promised. Tomorrow's not promised. That's why we have a good team now. We have a good team today. We need to win the Super Bowl today.
Yeah,
or in 10 days.
in 10 days, we need to do what we have done in the past 2 playoff games. Be dominant at the line of scrimmage. Move these guys. Set a new line of scrimmage. Go after their listen. They got a very good center, so I don't suggest you attack the center of the field. But yeah, let Hassan Reddick, let Josh Sweat. They need to eat this game, and get after Pat Mahomes. Make him realize that, you know what, the Philadelphia Eagles are here. Let's get this game over and done with, and worry about the roster and the draft picks later.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, let's do that. But I'm talking about we feel so good that we can talk about these things. This game is over, Pat. We already.
I wanted to mention about the offensive line, what they did. So the RPO, the weapon that Jalen Hurts is, that touchdown to Boston Scott, right? Mm-hmm. When he put it in the belly of Boston Scott, Dre Greenlaw was the outside left linebacker. Dre Greenlaw literally was looking at Jalen Hurts when Boston Scott was running by him. It was literally like, this is Boston Scott here. This is Dre Greenlaw. He's looking at Jalen Hurts, and oh crap, he got the ball. It's too late. See, like that weapon that he is back there. I'm not gonna call him a dual threat because he can throw the ball. He's the weapon, right? The weapon we have at the quarterback position freezes the best of them, and when it gets the best linebackers. It was the first touchdown. The linebackers was delayed. Like, if you delay in this type of run zone that we have, you're out of place.
Right.
The second touchdown to Miles Sanders, you should have saw Fred Warner looking at Jalen again. They didn't move. They just like this. Oh, right. It's so hard to diagnose as a linebacker when you have the quarterback literally putting the ball into the belly of the running back. And that quarterback is just as fast as that running back. That makes it very difficult to defend as a linebacker. And when you have this line that we have, man, it's a thing of beauty when you see it.
Well, I'm just curious as to how they are, what their plan of attack is going to be against the Kansas City's defense. We got an old friend over there, Spags, he likes to blitz. He's we talked about it. He's a Jim Johnson disciple, and he likes to come zero blitz until his team plays the most man pressure. I mean, tight pressure off the line than anyone else in the league. So I wonder what's going to be our plan of attack for such an aggressive play caller on defense.
Well, I could talk about that in the third quarter because I did hear that timer go.
All right, yeah, let's end this quarter.
And that's the end of the quarter.
All right, so that's the end of the third quarter. This is your man, Dante the Dark Knight, and you are watching Eagles Talk, the most unique Eagles coverage show around that's by Eagles fans for Eagles fans. And here on Eagles Talk, we like to talk about our favorite football team, the Super Bowl bound Philadelphia Eagles, in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. So here we are. You guys let me know what you're doing out there because we're still celebrating. I know the Super Bowl is 10 days away, but we are excited. We're still celebrating the win from Sunday. So get your glasses up. All right. And to our Philadelphia Eagles, down the hatch. 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the third quarter.
All right, so plan of attack here against a aggressive defense. Not, secondary is not all that great. So if they play press coverage, that's the word I was looking for. Press coverage. They play a lot of press coverage. So I think we have the wide receivers to beat the press coverage. I don't think that would be a good idea, but me thinking it and our team actually taking advantage of it are two different things. What do you think the plan of attack will be, Pat?
Plan of attack is this: take advantage of what we can take advantage of. Our offensive line, regardless of what team is the opposite team is doing is really dominating the line of scrimmage. Be true to yourself. Do not switch up because you see that press coverage. If you know that their defensive line cannot handle that run game, run the ball. Time of possession is your friend. Anytime that you keep the ball out of Pat Mahomes' hands, it gives you a better opportunity to win the game. Now, if you're not able to sustain your run game, which I really think we will be able to sustain a run game against this defense, but if we're for whatever reason not able to sustain a run game, we can take advantage of their secondary, which is not top notch. They have some good guys. The Darius D, who is in concussion protocol, if he is able to make it back, is one of their best corners. Trent McDuffie is a rookie. You can take advantage of him. There are some great opportunities against their secondary that we can just fully take advantage of. The middle of the field is going to be should be wide open for us with Dallas Goedert, but we should be able to take advantage of the run game. I know we're talking about our old buddy over there on the defensive coordinator side, but we have went against coordinators that have blitzed us over 51% of the time. Our first game of the year when we played the Lions, they blitzed us exactly 51% of the time. It was for like the third quarter, us not putting up points. That game would have been close. Against the New York Giants, Wink Martindale blitzed us 44% of the time the first time we played them. And again, in the playoffs, they blitzed us about 41% of the time. So, I mean, it's not something that we haven't seen before. We're very good against the blitz. It's just that we got to be efficient, and we can't cost ourselves the game.
All right, let me go to some comments out there. I've neglected you guys for far too long. Milton says, Bird Gang fam, how we doing? We're doing great, Milton. Jeremiah says we need to control the time of possession. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. And I think we need to, do what we do. I mean, strike early and often, and then, melt the game away with our running game. But we'll see what happens. What I say? Oh, that's Sydney says no one in the league can run RPO better than Hurts. Not even Lamar Jackson.
That's
I agree with that. That's facts. Left Down says if Hurts wins the Super Bowl and he's the MVP, you're going to hear a Brinks truck backing into the link the next day. Yep, you ain't lying. That's no bullshit. Contain Mahomes and Kelsey. We win this game easy. Yeah, it's an easy thing to say, but we have to do it. I blitz a lot more. They won't expect that. That's KT's.
I mean,
thoughts on it,
maybe, but they have been really good not blitzing as much, especially in this postseason.
Milt says after watching Cincinnati game, no way they all can stop our defense. Yeah, and it's been like week to week. I've been using the phrase "we're not" or "they're not" or whatever, but we're not Cincinnati. That the defense that they're about to see is not Cincinnati. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Cincinnati defense is weak by any means. Their defense was playing at top level near the end of the season here, so they were playing at a high level. But we are the number 2 defense, and you saw what we just did to our previous 2 opponents. This defense is for real. It's a reason. Number 1 defense versus number 2 defense, and our defense went out there with a chip on their shoulder with something to prove, and they definitely proved it on Sunday, and they just have one more test to pass, and that's on February the 12th against these Kansas City Chiefs and Big Red. All right, David Jr. says, did y'all hear Love from the Giants talking ish? Who Love? What
Julian Love from the New York Giants was talking some smack. Well, he got baited into talking smack. So he was on good NFL good morning NFL. Good Morning Football on the NFL Network. And he was a guest on there for an hour. Actually, I should pull the clip up, but basically he was asked. They got a short here. This said basically he was asked, do you like the team? How you think Sirianni has done with the team? Then they showed him against the Giants with Sirianni's in the camera like this, right? He said, I do you like a coach like that? I said, no, I don't like a coach like that. He's arrogant. He don't have to do nothing. The players the talent they have on that side of the ball. You know, you can coach that team. Basically downplaying what Nick Sirianni has done for this team these past 2 years, what he has put together. Nick didn't Nick in his first news conference interview say how his 5 different things about how you gonna make a team of fundamentals, how they're gonna know what to do, when to do, and how to do it. This is all his imprint. Right?
Yeah.
This is all his imprints. I don't know what the dude's talking about. He's just a mad Giants guy. That's all.
Well, you know, people have been hating on this team for ever. You know what I'm saying? I mean, all season long, and it doesn't let up now. You know, and we wouldn't want it any other way. Keep on talking smack, and we'll just keep on proving to you guys that you're wrong. And the ultimate slap or the ultimate clapback is hoisting that Super Bowl championship trophy on Sunday. So, you know what I mean? That's going to be the ultimate shut up. You know what I'm saying? Just shut up. Definitely. Everything has to cease and be silent after that.
Definitely. Like, I mean, cause let's be honest, what can you really say when we're holding a Super Bowl trophy? What can you really say when, you know, we already blew your team out 38-7 in the playoffs? They talk about how good your team was, how good your defense is, how up to the task you guys are. And the game was over by halftime.
Yeah, that game was awesome. He got outcoached too. That was a bad decision to go for it on fourth. And you know, we are one of the best teams playing downhill. You don't want to let us get up 2 touchdowns or more on you, because we're playing better going downhill than we did earlier in the season. We would get a lead and let the other team kind of creep back in. But since the season has worn on, we've gotten better at playing from ahead. And if we happen and be so fortunate to do that against the Kansas City Chiefs, that's going to be just as important as anything, is being able to play from ahead like that and not let a dangerous quarterback such as Patrick Mahomes bring his team back. We don't want to see a repeat of the New England-Atlanta Super Bowl where, you know, New England was trailing by 28 and still came back and won the game. So, you know, we can ill afford to do something like that if we are so fortunate to be up by so much.
Yeah. And when we're up, we need to, you know, run the ball, keep the ball away from Pat Mahomes at all costs. Get after him as much as possible with our front 5 sometimes. I mean, don't be scared of just playing your coverages. Like, you got to play your coverages. You got to know your responsibilities this game. And when basically Pat Mahomes makes plays off schedule. When I say off schedule, his scrambling ability inside the pocket makes things keeps plays alive, makes other receivers more dynamic than they really are. Like, you gotta key on your guys, know your responsibility. Like The Rock said, know your role. Shut your mouth. So know your role, know your player, and if your player is keep running side to side, you're running with your player until you hear that whistle.
No doubt. All right, some comments out there. Tyrese says Super Bowl coming soon, very soon. Lefton says, just like the song says, no one likes us, and that's fine. The players will do the talking on the field. Yes, they have been doing talking, a lot of talking, and they've talked themselves right into the Super Bowl. So yeah, I'm agreeing with you. The players I think are itching to make a statement also. They want to finish this task too and make a statement as a whole on how good they are and just finish the deal. We're this close. They had a goal when they started the season, and they are 1 game away from achieving it. So let's go. Let's finish it off. Lefton says, I think Gainwell is going to have a big game. He's been balling in the playoffs. Yes, he has, man. And that's been something else that a wrinkle we hadn't seen throughout the regular season. And maybe that's something that Nick Sirianni and Steichen were planning on revealing in the playoffs. They've been getting Gainwell more touches that I've seen him have throughout the whole year in these playoffs.
Mm-hmm. Right on schedule.
Right on schedule. All right. So that is the end of the third quarter. That's one.
And that's the end of the quarter.
All right, so we're here. Eagles Talk. You know what it is. The most unique Eagles cover show around that's by Eagles fans for Eagles fans. And yeah, we like to talk about our NFC champion, Philadelphia Eagles, 16-3. 16-3 now. Philadelphia Eagles in such a relaxed manner that we enjoy our favorite adult beverage in the form of shots. So you guys have been letting me know what you're drinking out there all night. And let's get these shots up in celebration to our Philadelphia Eagles, who are in the Super Bowl next Sunday, February 12th. So here we are, still celebrating the Eagles and getting ready and doing, just having some talking back and forth on how we feel about the season, what we feel about this upcoming game, and how they played thus far in the playoffs. So to our Philadelphia Eagles, salute, down the hatch. 3, 2, 1.
You're now listening to the fourth quarter.
All right, Brandon says, dang, I'm late. We're going to the Super Bowl. You bitch. Isaac Ware, everybody kept talking about the Smitty catch. I'm like, okay, take it off 24-7. What about the other 24 points? So I can see if the final score was 13-7. Oh, man, everything is fair. It's fair in love and war. Yeah. It was amazing. I heard Sirianni talk about that situation and the fact that they practiced that. They practice every situation in the game. That's how prepared he has his team. That's good coaching. That's great coaching. And he says they practice when they think that it might be a questionable call to make the signal to get the team up on the line of scrimmage and hike the ball. Yep. That's what the players are trained to do. That's what they practice to do. And Smitty, although he did not secure the catch, he did do his job in carrying out what he was trained to do.
I hate to say this.
What?
If the ref didn't change it, when you go and look on his stats, right? When you go look at Smitty's stats, it say Devontae Smith, 2 catches, 36 yards, long of 29. It's still on his stat line, so it's not coming off the sheet. All right,
no doubt.
So it's not on us to sit there and say, "Oh, we take that." No, it's your coach. Your coach has a responsibility,
right?
And your coach are supposed to have spotters. If you're over there relying on being at the opposition's field and for them to put it on jumbo field, well, good luck. This is what happens. All right, tough titty.
All right, look, our crowd is out there. Look, Richard Boo about to get paid off he trying to come up on the Super Bowl. He got 3 bets of 3 half gallons of liquor. What kind of liquor, may I ask, Richard? Do you have on the line here? 3 half gallons. Ooh, you got a big haul coming in. Mr. Jones says they've already made excuses, weak schedules, and other teams hurt players. We don't care. No, we don't care, man. And how about that? We have all 22 of our starters in this Super Bowl game. Are they 100%? Probably not. I mean, we're playing like the 19th, 20th game of the season, so they might be a little nicked and all that, but it's still something. It says something about the team to be able to have all 22 of their starters be there. So this team is relatively healthy going into the Super Bowl, and that's unimaginable after some years of us having one of the most injured teams. It's refreshing to finally have a team that's healthy. I mean, we don't, and we're never going to see the preseason like we're used to. That's dead. That era of seeing the starters in the preseason is a dead era. We'll never see that again because of the success of this year's team and the health of this year's team this late in the season. So, don't even tune in to the preseason unless you're tuning in right here on Eagles Talk. We talk about it. But there's no need to tune into the team because you're not going to see not near one starter until the season begins. And if they bring home this trophy, I don't give a damn. They can do what the hell they want. They can do.
Listen,
that.
They can play me and you. I don't care. They can call Shelby from Minnesota. Hey, yo, we need somebody to play quarterback for this game. Like, look, truthfully, I mean, this is going to be a hard-fought game. I said that last week, didn't I? Did we say it last week? It's going to be a hard-fought game, and after you put a tight end, the building excuse. I've been hearing this all week since the game. The building excuse was not only that about that catch not being the catch, was about if we had our starting quarterback. Well, let's examine that real quick, Dark Knight. Can I do that real quick for you?
Yeah.
So you started off the year by putting your quarterback, Jimmy G, who actually led you to a very good record and to the Super Bowl one time. You say you're going to bench him and end up trading him. So therefore, Trey Lance, who you drafted a year ago, was going to be the number one quarterback. He sucked at quarterback. Let's be honest. Trey Lance sucked at quarterback, all right? Because he's a rookie in a position going against these grown men and thinking that he can do what he did in college, and you can't, all right? So therefore, you had to draft your quarterback this season, and you had to keep him on the roster. So Brock Purdy was the third quarterback because you was going to trade Jimmy G. So happily, you didn't have no real takers for Jimmy G. So you had to keep Jimmy G. Unfortunately, your starter got injured. Then you brought in your other starter who got injured, who brought in Brock Purdy, which you also kept saying after those 7-0 start that you know what? He can be the quarterback for this team next year. Did they not say that, Dark Knight?
Yeah.
Now, the building excuse is, oh, you beat our third and fourth string quarterback. Oh, excuse me. Excuse me for not reading your post, understanding your radio station, talking about how good Brock Purdy is, how y'all went to the statue, say broccoli. Well, he's like broccoli now because his noodle elbow. That's your own fault and your coach's own fault when you put a third string tight end on the best pass rusher in the National Football League. Not in the National, not in the NFC, not in the AFC, in the National Football League. You put a third string tight end and you get your quarterback injured.
Yep. Thank you
It's
for
your
summing
fault,
that all
not
up.
ours.
It only took about 15 minutes.
I'm sorry.
I'm
sorry.
No, but you're absolutely right. They can cry all they want. I don't really care, man. We're in the Super Bowl and we have a chance to bring home the whole thing. It doesn't matter how we got there. We're there. We're there now. And they've been discounting our wins all year. So it's nothing new. They can discount all they want. I just want to hear the excuses when we get the job done. Yeah, there's no excuse that I need to hear.
I already know what you're gonna say.
The trophy, man. We're going to be champions, and we could put to bed some other things because they come at us.
Yeah,
they always come at us. Before we won in 2017, y'all don't have no rings. Y'all don't have no rings, regardless of whether we won NFL championships because they weren't always Super Bowls. Mm-hmm. We were in the NFL longer than the Miami Dolphins, longer than the Kansas City Chiefs. They came after the merger. So there were championships before these other teams came in, and we had those. But, all right, then we don't have a ring. We finally get one in 2017 and do it in impressive fashion, too, with our backup quarterback in a shootout against the GOAT, and we win our first ring. What do they say then? Oh, y'all only have one. You only have one ring now.
Yo, that was an impressive game, man. I listen. As much as dominant we are now, that game itself solidify how good that team was really put together. Like,
that was the best Super Bowl I've probably seen in my life. I mean, you can pick your favorites and all that, but you're talking about number one, it's my team.
True.
First Super Bowl, but number two, just as if neither one of those teams I had any rooting interest for, just watching, and that was an exciting football game, exciting Super Bowl. So that was a great game right here. You know what I'm hoping for Sunday? I'm hoping for this game not to be great. I'm hoping for this to be a bad Super Bowl. And that's for the people that are not fans of the Eagles, of course. I'm because I talked to my friend this weekend. He was like, "Oh man, that was a horrible game." I was like, "Well, it depends on your perspective because it was a great game to me. We put out two quarterbacks." But he was looking at it from a football fan's perspective. And he was like, yeah, but that was ugly. It wasn't nothing exciting about it because we dominated. Our game against the Giants. That wasn't a good football game because we dominated. Well, I hope that we don't have a good football game this coming Sunday on the 12th. I hope that it's a bad football game to everybody but us. I hope that we just complete domination over the Kansas City Chiefs, and people watching the game are bored. Like, oh,
yeah,
man, this is horrible. That's the kind of game I'm looking for. I'm looking for a non-memorable Super Bowl, one in which it was boring to watch because, one, it was so lopsided, and I wanted it to be in our favor. That's what I want to see.
I truly believe. I hope and wish that, but you know what? We're gonna get Pat Mahomes. We're gonna get Travis Kelce. We're gonna get Big Red. I don't think we're gonna fall into that same this teams are gonna fall in the same trap as the 49ers or the Giants before us. They're gonna come prepared, they're gonna come ready, they're gonna understand that they can't put a tight end on deep and mirror outside rusher. They're gonna test us. They're gonna test us at every facet of the game. And especially on defense, so we have to be prepared. They have an outstanding defense, and Clark. Like, if you don't block him well, I don't care what you have done against good pass rushers this year. Nick Bosa, this guy 95 is a monster in the trenches. He can play inside, he can play outside. He can be a game wrecker, which Cincinnati found out easy, right? So we can't go in there with the mindset that this game is already over. We have to go in there with the mindset that we have to fight for each yard. We have to fight for each down and bring it to them, take it to them, and make them submit.
Yeah, I want to see all that, and I think we have the ability to see that. I think when you look at the rosters and
Chris Jones, I'm sorry, his name's Chris Jones. I couldn't remember his name.
Yeah, when it comes down to it, I know we play the game. It's not just played on paper, but in some of these matchups, like we looked at the Giants game and we saw that the Giants had an outstanding game, probably the best game of the season against the Minnesota Vikings, and we looked at them and said, they have a lot of heart. They playing with a lot of confidence. Daniel Jones was out there looking like Lamar Vick and all that. But when they came up to us, it really was about the talent on the team, and they just didn't have enough talent. We knew that going in. We said, all right, they played their best game last week, but when you look at it, they just don't have enough talent. San Francisco came. They were a much more closely matched team, but in the end, I was giving us the nod on the talent. I was giving us a slight nod on the talent on the roster, and that talent prevailed. So when we go into this game, if I'm using that same rubric to come up with what team is best, I think we do have a slight edge over the Kansas City Chiefs as far as our roster. I think we have more talent on our roster. Now, will that translate to beating the game or winning the game? We'll have to see about that. But when I look at it and it comes down to talent, I think we nudged them just a bit on the talent side. On the talent side,
we do. I mean, man for man, roster for roster, we have the more talented roster, and we have seen it this year. I said that against the Giants. A model. You roster for roster, we have the better roster. But they do have the MVP of the league. I wish it would be Jalen Hurts, but it's going to be Pat Mahomes, and he makes things unnaturally happen. If Tony Romo was the commentator for this game, when he gets sacked 3 or 4 times, they say, "Oh my goodness, did you see him almost get out that sack?" That's how spectacular. But on a serious note, yes, we have a better roster. We have better athletes on our side, and we should be able to dominate this game. But again, any given Sunday, especially on NFL Super Bowl Sunday, anything can happen. And I hope we don't fall into those pitfalls of anything will happen.
No, we will not. All right, look, let me go to some comments before we get out of here. Jason says 49ers had the number 1 defense, and we walked into the end zone 4 times on them. Only one that got touched was Hurts on a quarterback sneak. Yes, I talked about that earlier. That was and that's why they never cease to amaze me, man. That was on the number 1
very undisciplined
rushing defense in the league, and not only did we amass 148 yards, but we walked in 3 rushing touchdowns. We walked in 3 rushing touchdowns where our running back wasn't even touched.
Yeah.
Wasn't even touched. Where this line was supposed to be one of the best, at least run stopping, and we had just beat them down to the point where we were walking in touchdowns. We were walking in touchdowns.
Yeah, they played very undisciplined. These penalties, they talked about all the penalties that the rush was there. No, they were legit penalties. Like the corner literally held AJ Brown and spun him around. You know, he had a hands to the face that literally the defensive tackle put his hands to the face of our guard who couldn't even see what he was doing because his hands in his face. So these were legit penalties of an undisciplined team. And one of Nick Sirianni's things was to be disciplined, to know what to do in different situations. Devontae Smith, to be disciplined and not cost yourself the game.
All right, here's Shell's out there. He says, family, God is great. Kobe Bryant, we need to stick to what got us here. Killer defense and running the ball. We have to put their quarterback in bad positions and take away their run game. Our O will score. We just got to stop them. Yes, we do.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Shell. They don't have a run game. They do it because they have to. But if Andy Reid was able to, he would pass the ball 60 times a game.
Yeah, and he passes to his running backs out of the backfield.
Yeah,
so you know how Andy used to do that when he was here. He used that little screen game as a part of his run attack. So we have to be careful about that. But look, this is the end of this show. Are we coming on Sunday? We should come on Sunday anyway. We're going to come on Sunday. We're going to come on Sunday, and because this is our last couple weeks together after the Super Bowl. Well, we're here every week, but we won't be here as often. During the season, we get to see you guys 2 days a week, and the such. So we're still going to be on Sunday. So tune in. We'll just have like a virtual pep rally or something. We'll talk about the season and how enjoyable it has been, and still continue the conversation with this game against the Kansas City Chiefs. So tune in 12 p.m. on Sunday, and we will see you then. I'm your man, Dante the Dark Knight, from my co-host, Pat, and Nichelle in her absence. We'll see you guys Sunday. Be cool. We're out. Peace.
We go live in 5.